torn down, the centuries-old tree in front of the library felled, and the Exeter community, to me at least, is even more aware and socially conscious than it was when I first got here. As much as I appreciate progress, as much as my heart flutters at the announcement of plans for a new building or an innovative new academic program, I've often felt a bit unmoored during my time here. Indeed, the great struggle of my Exeter experience has been finding the right balance between change and healthy ritual. Over these past few years, I figured out a couple of ways to stay tethered, and I'd like to share them with you today. First things first, you should build your community here. Find those people who will walk with you through sketchy parts of town at 10 p.m., who will take group naps with you in the dead of winter, who will always believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Being a teenager is tough, and it will get uglier. I don't know how I would have made it without early morning breakfast at tracksides, late night conversations in Hoyt's pathetic common room, and midday picnics on Swayze. Find people like my friends, people who will support you in your growth, who will drag you to a concert at 9 p.m. and burst into your room at 7 a.m. on a weekend just because they haven't seen you in a while. That said, don't freak out if you don't know who your people are yet. You just got here and it might take you a while to find your niche. The key is to stay open. Talk to your teachers, your classmates, staff, fact rats, the people who work in town. Our community is full of so many amazing people, from thrift store owners to dorm custodians to adorable kids who will give you colored water for free. Meet them, befriend them, immortalize them through words. You'll never achieve success on your own. Speaking of success, it's a social construct. A vague, blank term that people create to describe the condition of being something. Your guess is as good as mine. The silver lining is that you get to define success for yourself, which means all you need to do is be content with who you're becoming. But what happens if you're not content? What do you do when your life seems to be spiraling out of control and you have no idea how to become the person you want to be? You reach out. That's pro tip number 2. It's also something I really struggled with when I first got here. I'd always been a pretty self-sufficient, self-motivated kid. As a matter of fact, I decided to come to Exeter because I knew I could handle the independence. However, there's a difference between independence and isolation, and I found that out pretty quickly. I actually found it really hard to make new friends when I first got here. Believe it or not, Exeter, New Hampshire is very different from New York City, where I'm from. The air is cleaner, the nights are quieter, and there are so many more trees. Small talk was a foreign concept to me, so I avoided talking to most people, aside from the ones I came here knowing. I felt really alone, but I told myself I could handle it, like I'd handled so many things before. It wasn't until one of my first ALES meetings that I finally put words to my discomfort and confessed that I missed knowing people well enough to say hi without feeling nervous. From then on, Dr. Tiff and Dr. Wade, who's not here anymore, made a point to say hi to me first when they saw me. I never thought about it until recently, but it really helped me feel at home here. The comfort, the community I'd been craving for weeks was waiting for me the whole time, and all I had to do was ask for it. My last bit of advice is this: take advantage of any and all opportunities. Embrace novelty. Sing and dance with 14 new friends underneath a giant statue of Jesus overlooking Havana. Hold fire in an AP Chem class. Put together weekly playlists for a radio show. Day-to-day life at Exeter can be brutal. There will be days when you are genuinely miserable, especially during those hellish 2 weeks between Thanksgiving break and December break when the sun sets at 4 p.m. But what's always kept me going is remembering all of the experiences that I've had here that I couldn't have had anywhere else. Without Exeter, I never would have found out that I could lead a protest against racial injustice. Without Exeter, I never would have found out that I really like being an editor for a school newspaper. Without Exeter, I never would have found out that reading about how man reenacts cosmogony by centering the home in his life could bore me to literal tears. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't, to quote Mr. Weatherspoon, leaned into discomfort and challenged myself. Finally, enjoy your time here. Put down your pencils, unplug your headphones, exit Snapchat, and just be. As my advisor, Ms. LaPointe, always says, the days are long, but the weeks are short. Before you know it, you might be giving the speech at the time capsule ceremony that you could have sworn you were sitting in just yesterday. Exeter's so old, you probably won't be remembered in the classic sense. Your time here will just be a blip in the school's timeline, so do what makes you happy. And again, define success for yourself. I'm begging all of you to accept your scrap, to accept your nibble of the great long life of the school and make it yours, and yours alone. Savor it.